What's up, y'all? My experience is that a lot of people are running into issues where they find remote companies to apply for, they go work for a remote company, and it's not fully remote. Like, it's kind of remote. Like, it's remote adjacent. Where either it's a hybrid situation, or you can be remote, but you have to be remote from a specific state, a specific city, or it can only be remote from the US, right? So I know a lot of you are running into that problem. In this video, I'm gonna tell you about specific types of companies that you should be targeting if you want more flexibility and freedom in your remote work life, okay? Let's get into it. All right, so as usual, before we get into this, I do have to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, my name is Labria Jones, also known as the Remote Work Queen. I share a lot of resources and information to help people find and land remote work, but I also share a lot of information about how to get more life into your life-work balance equation, because the living part comes first, friends. And through my company, Quit Commuting, we offer a lot of resources and information for people to land remote jobs. So we have our free guide, which you can download via the description box. We also have our signature course, which guides people through the 4 phases of finding and landing remote work. And then we have a free community as well, and you can join that. All this stuff will be in the description box and you can take advantage of it. It's been way too long since I posted a video. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's been excuse after excuse after excuse. Either I don't have my camera equipment, I don't have my ring light, I don't have a microphone, my makeup isn't done, my eyebrows are not drawn. Girl, y'all, my eyebrows look a mess. A mess. And I had to be honest with myself, like, girl, you are not a lifestyle vlogger. Like, you're not a beauty vlogger. My nails are a mess. I mean, but y'all didn't come here to see that. Y'all didn't come here to see what I got on. Y'all didn't come here to see my makeup. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Y'all came here to get these good gems so that you can get remote jobs, right? Today, I actually sat down to record. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna happen. And both of the batteries in my camera is dead. But I was also like, but your phone has a camera. Like, what are you doing? But it's been excuse after excuse. I'm here to give you these tips because the purpose of this channel, the purpose of a lot of the things I share is so that you can have more life in your life-work balance equation. And so back at it, sorry about that. And also sorry about the video quality and the sound quality. I hope it's okay. But again, I'm recording on my phone and I'm using my computer for sound because team no excuses. Let me get back to this. All right, let's talk about what this video is about today. So a lot of you are looking for remote jobs, but when you're looking at these job postings, you're finding that companies are saying, well, we're remote, but we're only remote 2 days out of the week. Or we're remote, but certain departments are remote, right? So maybe our tech team is remote and everybody else is in the office. Or either you live out of the country or want to move out of the country, and these companies are like, well, we're remote, but we're remote in the US only, right? And so these are the companies that are causing people a lot of frustration because you're like, oh, I found a remote job. And then you dig in and you find out it's not remote the way you were hoping it would be remote. Am I right? So I want to talk to you guys about remote first companies. Remote first companies are my favorites. They are what I like to call the darlings of the remote work world. So what is it about remote first companies? Why do I like remote first companies so much? Remote first companies are fully remote companies. Being remote is built in their DNA. So either they started out as a remote first company and they never had an office. They never, like when they started their company with the understanding that we're gonna be remote. This is going to be a virtual company. We will have distributed teams throughout the world. We will have a remote first culture. Now, there are some companies who became remote first companies as a result of the pandemic as well, but be rest assured that remote first companies have existed since well before the pandemic, okay? The reason why it's so important to me that remote first companies have remote built into their DNA is because they have the culture and the infrastructure to support building careers remotely. A lot of companies who moved into being remote during the pandemic and are now, kind of remote or partially remote or remote in some way, in some cases, they may have challenges fully supporting that culture. Either they didn't have the infrastructure or the setup to manage communications between teams, to manage career growth and development. But a remote first company has already considered all those things, right? They already have that infrastructure. It's everyone's culture. So for instance, if you work in an environment where some people are in the office and some people are remote, you might be subject to proximity bias, right? So some people may be getting better projects, better promotions, better opportunities because they're in someone's face, whereas because you're remote, you might be missing out on those opportunities. That doesn't happen at remote first companies because they are built for that, right? Their expectation is that everybody is globally distributed. And so as a culture, as an organization, they already are thinking about how do we grow and develop our people? How do we keep people connected? How do we build culture remotely? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Something else I love about remote first companies is that they tend to value asynchronous communication and autonomous working. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. Asynchronous communication means that it's one-way communication, whereas where you work today, if anyone has anything they want to disseminate to you or share with you or go over with you, it has to be a meeting. Everything's a meeting these days, right? Every one of y'all, most of y'all have work calendars that are full of meetings. And you're like, when do I get my work done? Well, asynchronous communication values pushing information out and allowing that person or the receiver to receive, ingest, digest, process that message on their own time. And so a lot of remote first companies value that as the first step. For example, Shopify actually last year, Shopify removed meetings. Shopify said if there's more than 2 people in a meeting, cancel it. There's no meeting. Start with asynchronous communication. And there's multiple ways to do asynchronous communication. I won't make this video about that, but that can be chats, that can be emails, that can be someone sending a video. This video that you're watching right now is an example of asynchronous communication. I'm trying to communicate something to you and you're able to watch this, rewatch it, digest it, ingest it, process it on your own time when you're available to do so. And so this is an example of asynchronous communication. And so what I love about remote first companies is that they value people's time, they value people's attention, they value your productivity and don't want to interrupt that because someone else might need something or want to have a conversation. And so a lot of times in these environments, they lead with asynchronous communication. On the same note, very often they value autonomous working. Autonomous working means that you decide when you're going to work. No one is micromanaging you. No one is telling you you need to be logged in with the green light between 9 and 5 p.m. and we only want to see you away during lunch hours, right? A lot of times these companies have global workforces and people are working in different time zones, different times of day, and their focus is not on when are you available. Their focus is on what are you producing, right? Are you getting work done? Are you adding value? Are you doing the things that you're supposed to do? Regardless of when you want to do it and when it works best for you, we just want to know that you're adding value. I love working in environments like that. I want more people to work in environments like that because when you feel in control of your schedule, not only do you get to work at times that are more productive for you, everybody's not productive at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? You get to work at times that are more productive for you. But the other piece is you feel valued and trusted as an adult human, right? So that's one of the things I love about remote first companies. The next thing that I love about remote first companies that most of you want is remote first companies don't give a damn where you work from. Like they just don't care because they have global workforces. Again, a lot of their workforces are around the world. They hire people all over the world. And so they don't necessarily care where you log in. They just want you to get your work done. Like huge bonus, especially for those of you who don't live in the US, who live in other countries, and those of you who want to slow travel or want to move abroad. Like that's a great option. Another thing that's really cool about, I'm gonna call them RFCs from now on. Another cool thing about RFCs is they tend to have really fun and cool benefits. I know a lot of people assume that remote workers don't have great benefits, but it's been my experience. A lot of these remote first companies, a lot of remote companies in general have really good benefits. Let me give you a couple of examples. Automatic and GitLab have minimum vacation policies. You know what that means? That means that at a minimum, you have to take at least a certain number of days. You have to at least take this much vacation. At least. Like, get out of here. Shoo shoo. Go enjoy your vacation. At least. Hopper covers 100% of medical, dental, and life insurance for their employees. 100%. 100%. And they give their employees an all-access pass to WeWork, which is a co-working space that has locations all over the world. I work at WeWorks almost everywhere I go. I would love to have an all-access pass. A company called Anyplace, they offer their employees a $1,000 stipend towards travel expenses. What? Wait, you're gonna pay me? You're gonna pay me so that I can go on vacation? I'll take that. Sign me up. Where do I apply? Where? Another company called Meet Egger offers their employees free housekeeping services. What? I mean, come on. These are great benefits. So to wrap this up into a bow, remote first companies are really great companies to target specifically if you're looking for a lot of freedom and flexibility in your job, okay? So make sure you're targeting remote first companies. Let me recap the reasons why I said that. One, being remote is in their DNA. So they have the infrastructure and the culture to support your career growth while you're remote. Two, they value autonomy and they devalue lots of meetings. You got time to get your work done and you can get it done on your time. Three, they don't care where you work from. You can work from anywhere with a remote first company. And four, they tend to have really great benefits. Oh, I forgot to mention, they also tend to do annual retreats. Some do once a year, some do twice a year. And a lot of times those retreats are in really cool places like Portugal or Thailand, or even in, wine country in Napa and things like that. So what I heard was free trip. All right, so Libria, how do I find an RFC? How do I find a remote first company? Well, you just gotta pay attention, right? So when you're looking at job postings, hopefully you go to the company's website. If you go to the website, you'll see a lot of keywords that lean towards being a remote first company. Some of them will outright say on their website that we are a remote first company. Some of them will say we don't have any offices. Some of them will say we have a globally distributed team and we're fully remote. So those are the kind of keywords that you wanna look for. And I also have a list of 50 free remote first companies. You can grab that via the link in the description box, all right? So that's how you find remote first companies. And one of the things that I'll suggest as a bonus in this video is that you go ahead and start identifying what are the top 5 remote first companies that I'm interested in based on the work they do, the things they hire for, and the culture of the company, and start cultivating relationships with people from those companies that are in your position today on LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn and find, if you're a project manager, go on LinkedIn and find the project managers that work there and start cultivating relationships with them so that once it comes time for you to apply for a job, you've started building that network already, all right? Okay, here's what I want you to do next. Number 1, grab that free list of 50 remote first companies that I just told you about. Number 2, check out our signature course, the Remote Ready Bundle. It's a really great course that will hold your hand through the 4 phases of finding and landing remote work. Plus, there's a list of 250 remote first companies in that course. And on top of that, you get full access to our community, which means that you'll get weekly live coaching sessions with me. You'll also get resume review, LinkedIn review, and job search strategy calls. So the link to that is in the bio as well. The next thing that I want you to do is, if you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, y'all, I'll see you in the next video. No excuses.